Welcome, everyone, to the Modern Day Overthinker podcast. My name is Collin, and I'm your host. It's been a while. I released an episode last week after a 1-month hiatus, and since then, I've been bouncing back. So I basically had a month there where I was really trapped in an OCD loop, and I'll explain what an OCD loop is and what happens. So basically, your brain gets stuck on something and they feel like this is a perfectionist OCD kind of thing, where if I have to share something, for example, online, such as the podcast, I had myself convinced that if I didn't release it and press the submit button a certain way while facing a certain way, well, mainly while facing a certain way, that I would have to delete the podcast and redo it and post it again. Not redo the podcast as in re-record the podcast, but just redo the podcast posting. And that went on for a while. I kind of gave up after a while. After multiple attempts, I would post the podcast and delete it, post it, delete it, post it, and delete it. I did it so many times where we're just stuck in a loop where it was like, I can't win. It's like, at least that's how I felt in my head. So I set it to the side. I avoided it, which is not something you're supposed to do when you have OCD. You're supposed to approach things head on, but I avoided it. I wanted to wait for the right time. When I felt better, I was just dealing with a lot of anxiety in general, which stems from my OCD, which is an anxiety disorder. And I was very scared because I was stressed out. I was just not doing well. And the weird thing is, a lot of good things were going on in my life. I was getting back into the church, getting back into my faith. And I know some people watching this are like, so what? Well, it's a part of my story. And this is an episode where I'm going to talk a lot about personal things that are going on in my life and what happened between that month and even leading up to that month. So I was pretty much afraid to leave my house because I would be triggered by something and that would cause me to have more anxiety. And then me being triggered by something, I'd be depressed because I'm so anxious and beating myself up. I was talking to myself terribly in my head. Basically, I was convinced that I didn't deserve any recognition, that I didn't deserve to post anything. And I was afraid I was going to post something in the wrong way, facing the wrong way, which is one of my obsessions that I deal with, and that it goes viral and that I wouldn't be able to enjoy it. It's really tricky to explain to somebody who doesn't have OCD, but I'm doing my best here. So I didn't want to commit suicide. There was a point in December where I was like, I don't know if I can do this anymore, but I've tried to swear off suicide because I know how it affects people, and I know a lot of people care about me and love me. It's hard for me to accept their love sometimes, but regardless, if I did something to myself, I would affect a lot of people, and that's very selfish, in my opinion. And so I didn't want to go that route. Thought about checking myself into a facility and trying to get things right. However, in the middle of all this, I am interviewing for a promotion at work, and it's a promotion I really want, and I feel like I'm able to be really good at it. And luckily, I ended up getting that promotion because I just stuck it out. I grinded. I did what I had to do, but I was only focused on the only thing I was really trying on was work, or trying at was work. I wasn't doing any comedy, which I love doing comedy. Um, and I wasn't going to open mics, so therefore I haven't been getting booked on shows, which frustrates me. It makes me think I'm not a good comedian, not good enough. I've always had that feeling that I'm not good enough. Uh, that comes that comes into play with relationships in general. I always feel like I get forgotten about, um, and overlooked, overshadowed. And I didn't feel like that as much with my siblings. My parents did a really good job giving us all a good amount of attention. I'm the middle child, so I have middle child syndrome of some sort, I'm sure. But I really want to talk about that feeling that I was in. I felt for a while there that it wasn't going to get better. I was going to be, and I felt like this before, but this one was different. It's different every time. Feels like it's darker every time I go through this type of phase. And I really just was drained from doing compulsions for my OCD and making sure I'm not doing anything wrong when I know I don't want to do anything wrong. And OCD attacks your values. It makes you question your values. It makes you question a lot of things. It's called the doubt disorder for a reason. And I doubted that I was a good person in a sense, or that I was doing things that a bad person does just by doing different motions with the way I was facing, the way I was looking, intrusive thoughts, which are thoughts you don't want to have, but you have them anyway. And OCD could be like, why are you having that thought? Normal people don't have those thoughts, which is not true. The thing with OCD is you have an intrusive thought, something gross, something just really vile, or something really bad, and you get stuck to it. You're like, what was that? I need to pay more attention to that and figure out why I had that thought and what's wrong with me, you know? So a lot of doubt. And I was doubting that I could get through it this time. Because I've gotten through it before. But I was worn out. I was burnt out. Trying to do a good job at work. Trying to keep the podcast going. This is up until that month where I had the episode ready to go, edited perfectly, just not perfectly, but whatever. Nothing's perfect, but it was ready to go, and it was an awesome episode. I loved recording it. It was Zane Landon. It's the episode right before this, episode 84. Great dude. We had a great conversation about men's mental health, and I was really proud of that episode. And then I went in that loop, and it was tough to really post anything online. And because I was scared, because I thought that I thought something was connected to any movement or any bad thought, or any bad movement or bad thought that went into my head or through my body while I was posting if it wasn't just right, if I didn't feel any anxiety while doing it or any uncomfortableness while doing it, I would leave it. But I set myself up for failure because there wasn't really any way I was so in my head that every way I faced, every way I posted was bad. So I just stopped posting. I was like, I'm not going to deal with this anymore. Avoidance again. And, I talked to my therapist about it. I've been working with a therapist with no CD, but it felt like things were moving too slow, and I'm very impatient. I'm a very impatient person, which explains why I abused substances in the past, and I'm glad that I no longer abuse substances like I used to. It's a very good thing, something I'm grateful for. But I did that to escape, and I wanted to escape again. I didn't want to, like I said, I didn't want to kill myself, but I thought about, when I was going through this process of getting a promotion, I was like, if I don't get this promotion, I think I'm going to check myself into a facility and go on FMLA because I was going to be crushed. Because the job that I was doing before, I just couldn't do it anymore. I was getting to the point where I've done it for so long, I was burnt out. I was ready for the next level, and very fortunately, I got the position, and I'm very grateful. A lot of people congratulated me. A lot of people told me that it was well deserved. I really appreciated that. Getting better at taking compliments, and I really believed that I earned the position, and I did what I needed to do to get it. And it's the first time in a while where I've actually said, hey, I deserve this. This is something I've worked on. I did my time. I worked hard. I did what I needed to do. Part of my mind's like, you didn't work hard enough, I'm never good enough, but I'm content that I got this position and that I can do a good job with it. And so far, I'm starting off pretty well. And there was a few thoughts during that time where I thought that going back to drinking or going back to other substances was a possibility, just because I wanted to escape again. Luckily, those thoughts never stuck. They were very quick, or kind of like little daydreams, and they went away. And then I would have using dreams, is what they call them, where I would get drunk or use some type of substance and feel like complete crap about it. But it felt so real. I've yet to have a good dream where I was partying and everything was fine, which is a reminder, I believe, from my higher power, which is something else I want to talk about. So I participated in a men's retreat. It's called CEW, Christian Experience Weekend. I'm not supposed to talk about a lot that goes on there, but I will say I had a great experience, a very moving experience. I cried for the first time and I couldn't tell you how long, like a real cry where I couldn't hold it back because part of me doesn't like crying in front of people, doesn't want to show that side of me in front of other people. It makes me feel weak. I think that's just coming from I wouldn't even say how I was raised, just how society is and how society was. And I've seen a lot of people cry. I've seen a lot of grown men cry and never looked at them differently. I actually envied it. And I cried a lot in a good way. I let a lot out because I was holding a lot in. And since then, I've been trying to have a better relationship with what they call in the program the God of your understanding. And I've been praying out loud, saying my favorite prayer, the Serenity Prayer, because it makes so much sense to me. And if you don't know the Serenity Prayer, it's God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And I am very grateful for that prayer. I say it at least once a day, if not more. And I got back into going to meetings again. I wasn't not going to meetings, but I wasn't going to very many meetings. And I also wasn't communicating with people in my fellowship. And the fellowship is very important to recovery if you're in recovery and going through that journey. It keeps you grounded, it keeps you in the fold, it keeps you in the winner's circle where you're more than likely not going to relapse because you're going to want to tell somebody before you relapse. And you're going to want to reach out and say, hey, dude, or hey, I'm having a rough time. I want to use. And then they'll talk to you about it. I haven't had one of those conversations because I haven't really wanted to use in a long time. But I've wanted to do other stupid things. I've wanted to go to the casino. I've wanted to go to the casino, maybe go to the strip club afterwards if I won money. Loneliness has caught up to me. It's not as bad as it used to be. I'm staying busy, and staying busy keeps me away from the loneliness. And not only staying busy, but talking to other people, talking to them on the phone, in person. I recently had a family vacation where I got to spend time with my brother, my sister-in-law, my nephew, who's 9 months, and he's awesome. And he brings me so much joy. And he's just the happiest kid ever. And I want to see him grow up. And that's extra motivation for me to get my shit together. I'm not saying my shit's not fully together, but there's things I need to work on, and I want to be a consistent, functional member of society. I have these months or maybe even a year where I'm just doing great and things are going really well, and then I hit a wall, and then I'm just out of commission or just on autopilot for a month or two. And that's basically what happened. And I need to balance out my life. I need to figure out my priorities. There's so many things I've gotten into. There's so many things I've enjoyed doing. There's so many things I felt like I had to do that I really didn't have to do. When it comes to recovery, when it comes to just life in general, I can't be everyone's Superman. I can't be everyone's person to look up to. I appreciate everyone who looks up to me. And I want you to know that I have flaws, though, and I'm pretty sure most of you are aware of that and love me because of my flaws, or because whether I have my flaws or whether I don't. And I'm coming out of this bubble that I was in, thanks to modern medicine. They've changed my medication a little bit. Thanks to getting this new job and feeling a sense of worth that I'm doing something right. And just staying in touch with people who care about me, my family. I recently spent Easter with my family and my cousin Greg got confirmed in the Catholic Church. I got to be a sponsor. That was really awesome. And he's like a brother to me. He's probably going to be on the podcast again soon. Maybe be a co-host. I don't know. He's a great dude. And we're very much alike. Having him around has been great to talk to because he understands how my brain works, and I understand how his brain works. And yeah, I also want to talk about something that I've been looking into for a while. I've been talking to my psychiatrist about it. It's called ketamine assisted therapy. Ketamine assisted psychotherapy. I'm sorry. I hate saying psychotherapy because it sounds like I'm a psycho. Maybe I am. Who cares? I don't even care at this point. But I've looked into it, talked to my psychiatrist about it. She agrees that I should try it. So I'm trying it. People in recovery are probably like, ooh, you're going to do some ketamine. Well, guess what? I'm not doing it to get high. I am doing it because it's a new form of treatment for people with mental health disorders, such as depression, which I have, such as anxiety, which I have, such as OCD, which is an anxiety disorder, which I have. So I am looking forward to that. It's going to be a little bit of a process, and I'll probably post on social media about it, about my experience. Maybe do a podcast about it with somebody. Maybe see if my therapist will, or one of the therapists that knows about it, will get on and talk about it and the benefits. And basically, it is what's going to happen is I'm going to have a few sessions, just kind of to get to know me and make sure I'm a good fit, and also get to know me on a deeper level, what I want to work on, what I'm trying to get out of this, all that good stuff. So that'll be about 3 sessions, and then I go into the sessions where they actually dose me with ketamine, and we have it's like a 3-hour thing. So we talk about things, what's going on. They dose me, kind of guide me through it. They're there if I need them. And then at the end, have a therapy session and talk about what I went through. And it's a very organized, structured process, which is what I want. I didn't want to go to the clinic and get hooked up on IV ketamine and trip for an hour by myself. That scares me a little bit. I don't know what could happen there. I know people do that and it works for them, but I want to try a different route that feels comfortable and safe to me. And I'm going to do it. I start my first session on Friday. My get to know you type session, intake session. You want to be professional about it. So we're going to do that. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to that experience. Another thing that's going on is when I get depressed, when I get anxious, when I got a lot going on in my head and I'm on autopilot, I completely let my living conditions get to just complete grossness. I'm sitting in my office studio right now. You can see the best parts of my office and studio right now. The rest of it, there's empty Wendy's cups. There's a coffee cup right there, another one. Red Bull. It's just a mess in here. And I'm going to try to take care of that tomorrow. I hate that saying. I'm going to get to it tomorrow. Procrastination. I'm a procrastinator. But the heavy procrastination comes in when I'm dealing with a mental health issue like I have been. And I managed to redo this wall a little bit. This artwork was done by my friend Haley Call. This artwork was done by my friend Chris Starman. And eventually I'm going to have a mural painted back here by my buddy Tony Cavallo once we get that figured out. And also upcoming episodes, I'm locking in a date with a priest, my friend Father Andrew. He's a Catholic priest. Getting that date locked in. I send him a schedule so he can pick a date that works for him. And that's going to be really cool. Trying to get Haley DeGrave on here as well. She runs the Gray Matters Collective, which is a nonprofit mental health organization here in the Quad Cities that does awesome things, has awesome events. I went to one earlier today. It was mostly high school people. I felt 100 years old, but the people that were showing up, they were having fun. They were dancing. They were doing karaoke. And she's built something very awesome around here. And she's just a great person. And got to talk to her boyfriend for a little bit. I've never met him. He's a really cool guy. Couldn't remember his name. I'm bad with names, so I'm sorry, dude. But you didn't follow me on Instagram when I showed you my Instagram, so I'm pretty salty about that one. It's okay. But with all of this, I know it's going to make me a better person getting through this. It's going to make me be able to talk to people and not judge them when they tell me things. I've always had a way of listening to people and not judging them and just letting them share and making them feel comfortable like I'm a safe person to talk to. And I think situations that I experience where it gets really dark and I have really dark thoughts, and that makes me more capable of having vulnerable conversations with other people. And I'm trying to look at this as a positive as I get out of this fog. It wasn't even a fog. It was a dark, dark cloud. And I didn't tell that many people about it, which is my bad, really. I mean, I should have. That's the problem. That's the stigma. I'm a part of it too. It's ingrained in us. We need to talk about these things because the more we sit with them, the worse they get, and that's exactly what happened to me. It could happen to anyone. People probably thought for a while there until somebody called me out on it. Good friend of mine. I was looking like I was doing just fine. People didn't think twice about it. There's some people close to me that had their suspicions. But overall, I could put that mask on and get through what I needed to get through. I don't want to use a mask. I want to be me. I know there's a time and a place to share these things. I get that. I'm not going to just have a meeting with my boss and tell him about how, hey, I thought about doing drugs last week. Or situations like that. I'm not going to do that. I've realized that I've known this for a while, but I've really realized it as of recently. I hadn't done a stand-up comedy set outside of an open mic in months. And my buddy Carson Tuttle from Iowa City, look him up. He's a great comedian. He let me do what's called a guest spot, which is basically you show up. You're not on the flyer. You get to do a little bit of time and tell some jokes on stage. And he let me do that last week, and I felt so free. I feel so free when I can get on stage, and the more and more I do it, the more I feel like I can say what I really want to say. Because comedy is one of those places where you can. Some people like to police it, but honestly, I don't agree with them at all. Don't watch it. Don't watch comedy. You can't handle it. Or stick with the clean comics. I'm not a clean comic. I wish I could share all my sets online publicly with everyone. But I can't do that because I'll get in trouble at work, which is fine. It makes people want to come see me and hear the more not safe for work jokes. And I just want to say to everyone that no matter how dark it gets, it does not stay dark forever. It will feel that way. And if you sit in it, it'll stay dark. If you don't tell anyone about it, it'll stay dark and make it darker. But if you do one little thing that makes you feel like you succeeded or made you feel like you did something productive, do it. Feel a sense of accomplishment. Set those small goals. That's what I've had to do. Like yesterday, I changed my doorbell. It was broken. It's been broken for a while. I mean, it works, but it looks like shit. It looked like shit, and I fixed it. It took me like 10 minutes, and it looks great. Works perfectly fine. And now I get to look at a great doorbell every time I look at my door, or every time I look at my front door area. Little things like that, little wins. Like recording this podcast right now. This is a big win. Putting it out will be an even bigger win. Don't let fear run your life. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for a date. It's another thing. I've been asking people on dates. I've gotten denied a few times recently. That's fine. At least I tried. I know I'm not a bad looking guy. I know I'm not a bad person. I know I bring a lot to the table. I know I have some flaws, but don't we all? 34, I'm not getting any younger. I would like to find my life partner and someone that wants to grow with me. They want to grow. They have their goals. I want to grow. I have my goals. And someone that brings me joy and that I can bring joy. So I'm keeping my eye out. It's not a full-time job. I have a full-time job already, but I can't hold myself back by thinking, oh, I'm not going to ask them. They're going to say no. That's my first thought every time. I'm going to get rejected. So what? If I get rejected, I get rejected. At least I know. Instead of sitting there and, I don't know. No, I'm not going to do that anymore. So if I slide into your DMs and you know me, don't take offense to it. I'll be a gentleman about it. You can be straightforward with me. Be like, hey, I think you're ugly. You don't have to say it like that, but you can say, hey, I don't see you like that. Perfectly fine. Totally get it. I've said it to people. I've had people approach me, which I am really not used to. And also just heads up to women out there. you shooting your shot is probably the coolest thing that can happen to a guy. We love it. Especially the ones that it doesn't happen to them that often. I'm not saying I'm a loser, but I'm just saying it doesn't happen to me that often. I don't know if it happens to that many guys, unless you're like a supermodel or famous or rich or whatever. I have found a few different things that I'm going to keep doing so I can stay out of that hole and that I cannot leave the listeners hanging for a month. I know there's some dedicated listeners out there that were probably wondering where I was at and what I was doing, and wasn't in a great place, but I'm doing better now. I'm getting there. I feel like I'm recovering from an injury, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay in contact with the people who care about me, check in with people. I'm going to show up to places that I may not want to go to, events, public events that I've been invited to, that part of my brain says isolate, just stay home, watch Netflix, whatever. You gotta avoid doing that, because I've learned as I get older, some of the stuff that I don't really want to do, like sometimes I don't want to work out. I go work out, feel great afterwards. Or I don't really want to take an ice bath, but I take the ice bath, feel great afterwards. I don't really want to go to a recovery meeting right now. That meeting tonight, I could skip it. I went the other day. It's fine. I go to the meeting. It's awesome. I feel great afterwards. Maybe I even hang out with people after the meeting. I have dinner. It's the things like that I need to do. And also keep up with those small goals. Tomorrow, I need to take care of this trash situation and a couple other things I want to work on. Laundry. There's always laundry. I know a lot of people feel that. Real problem with laundry. But yeah, I want people to know that you can reach out to me. You can email me. You can message me. We can set up a time to talk. I'll be in here. Or if you want to reach out to me and say, hey, I'd love to hear what you're going through and I'd love to help you with it. Or just to check in on me. I really appreciate when people check in on me. I don't do that enough to other people. Another thing I'm going to start doing, I checked in with a friend yesterday. And I'm going to start doing that more often because people suffer in silence. So many of us do. We think we can do it on our own. We don't have to. So, in closing, I want to say that I'm going to keep bringing you episodes. I'm going to keep bringing you content on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all that good stuff. And I'm always going to be an overthinker. But trying to keep things under control and try to be a light in this very dark world.